Good afternoon, Your Excellency, members of the House of Lords and the House of Commons, ladies and gentlemen, and Amajit, thank you for inviting me today. I want to explain how Indian traditional science can be an antidote to violence by referring to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Now, when Patanjali refers to yoga, he doesn't mean primarily the physical postures, but rather to that transcendental field of life that we can all experience through a system of meditation that facilitates effortless transcending. Now, regular transcending creates a more peaceful and harmonious person. When we look in prisons and we see prisoners who have learned transcendental meditation, there is a decrease in the rate of reconviction, the rate of recidivism. Now, the new book that I've co-authored with Patricia Saunders, An Antidote to Violence, Evaluating the Evidence, provides data from 20 peer-reviewed studies. It's not just the individual that benefits, but society as well. We know that many types of yoga have a calming effect on the individual physiology. There's also a similar calming influence on society as a whole if there is a sufficient number of people practicing yoga, by which I mean regular experience of transcendental consciousness, which develops higher states of consciousness. It's a bit like dropping a pebble into a pond and then the waves spread out. So analogously, when we transcend during transcendental meditation, we create a subtle but measurable influence of harmony, not just for the individual, but for society as a whole. Now, how is it measurable? Well, we can look at crime statistics, war fatalities, improvements in economic performance. And in the book, in addition to looking at the 20 peer-reviewed studies, we also look at what happened in Mozambique, where President Chissano introduced transcendental meditation to 15,000 members of the nation's armed forces. And he credits this program with improving the fortunes of Mozambique in the mid-1990s. Now, this phenomenon of transcendental meditation improving society is known as the Maharishi effect, and it's named after Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who first predicted this influence. Now, the obvious question to ask is, could it just have been a coincidence that crime and violence decrease when there's a large group of meditators? I would like to suggest 6 reasons why the research is consistent with a causal interpretation. So firstly, repetition of experiments. There's been 20 peer-reviewed studies showing statistically significant results, and we cover these in detail in the book. Secondly, there's a dosage effect. The larger the group, the bigger the impact. Thirdly, in several of the studies, the effect is repeated at random several times within the same study. The Canadian sociologist Mark Novak commented, "The repeated effect is persuasive. You could discount it once or twice, but 7 times gets your attention." Fourthly, the studies have controlled for about 15 other possible causes that might explain these social changes, and none of these demographic or seasonal variables could explain the results of the research. Fifthly, when the relevant tipping point of people practicing transcendental meditation has been passed, then unconnected variables like accidents, crime, infant mortality, deaths from opioids, all decrease at the same time. And finally, the changes in the numbers practicing transcendental meditation happen before the changes in crime and war fatalities and economic improvement. So all of this suggests a causal connection. Now, the poet John Donne wrote that no man is an island. This is the idea that there's a level of life where we're all connected. Aldous Huxley described this as the perennial philosophy. The development of the unified field theory in modern physics suggests that everything is connected. So to conclude, the peer-reviewed evidence indicates that we have a reliable method, transcendental meditation and its advanced programs, to reduce collective tension and violence in society. It's an approach that's been inspired by the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, an approach that has been scientifically peer-reviewed, but now I would like it to be politically peer-reviewed. So if there are any peers, members of the House of Lords or members of the House of Commons who would like a complimentary copy of the book, An Antidote to Violence, which, by the way, has been endorsed by 3 Lieutenant Generals, just let Amajit know, and you'll be welcome to have a complimentary copy if you're a member of the House of Parliament. Thank you.